Hello, everyone, and welcome again to our program, Keeping Up with Financial News. This is Cristian Ortiz and Kai Vasquez, and this episode is going to be a very interesting one. Kai, can you help me telling our audience what we will be talking about?
Hello, everyone. Of course, it will be a pleasure. Well, today we will be talking about the Southwest airline case, but I think it will be a good idea to give a little background first.
You are right, Kai. Well, let me start. As we all know, Southwest Airlines is one of the largest airlines in the United States and even in the world, in terms of passengers and commercial airlines. Nowadays, it operates more than 540 aircraft in between 67 cities in the United States and approximately 3,300 daily flights.
They are also the most successful low fare, high frequency, point to point carrier in the United States and only one of the major airlines to post profits every year. But we have to understand that these profits come from passenger revenue. This is why they really need to focus on their clients and their needs.
Yes, for sure. But also, it is important to consider that the main expenses for the airlines are the operating and fuel costs, and they really need to be controlled and stay at the lowest possible level.
I agree. Nevertheless, if there is a decisive planning, they can keep the cost of fuel at a low level. And they can do this by heating fuel, which is exactly what we will be talking about today in this episode.
We must keep in mind that the key for success in the airline industry is attracting passengers by keeping the flying costs low and controlling costs. And that's why the Southwest business model is one of the best examples. They know how to provide value for money, gaining considerable profits while they continue being one of the most profitable airline businesses in the market.
That is very interesting, but I think we have already said all the good things about this airline. I think we can count Christian. What was the real problem Southwest Airline was facing in the year 2001?
Okay, we know that the main expenses for an airline are the operating and fuel costs, and these expenses must be tightly controlled to reach the demands of the market and continue being a low-cost flying company.
That's correct. But also by having more control on costs, it can help the company to have better estimates in budgets and forecasting. Nonetheless, airlines has no control over the volatility of fuel prices, which are extremely volatile and causes havoc in industry, which make it difficult to control fuel costs and total costs.
Yes, I agree. But now, after telling all of this background, we can tell that many years ago, Southwest Company encountered a rise in crude oil in the market. Senior managers of the company began to worry for the future of the company due to uncertainty in futures jet fuel prices. Therefore, the company's director of corporate finances, Scott, began brainstorming ideas to deal with this risk, and he concluded with the five following alternatives. The first one was to do nothing about it. The second one was hedge using plain vanilla jet fuel or heating oil swap. The third one was hedging using options. Number four, hedge using a zero-cost collar strategy. And the last one was hedge using a crude oil or heating oil futures contract.
Oh my God, there are so many alternatives.
Indeed, as we mentioned before, having a hedging fuel is a very complex but very effective way to achieve the control and need to maintain the cost aligned with what our market demands. But at the end, to offset fuel price rise and control fuel costs, Southwest Airlines had to choose the best option based on two possible scenarios. The first one was fuel price decline, and the second one was fuel price rise. Kai, which one do you think they went with?
As for the company, I will choose to buy heating oil futures contract with the scenario number 2, where the price is 1,186 per gallon. Due to the price rise in heating oil, the profit from the hedge is the difference between the future price and the spot price per gallon. Finally, there is a basis loss of 8 cents per gallon, 0.93 cents less than if we had done it with the scenario number 1.
Great. But wait, I think we have a question from our audience. I think it comes from Alita 15. She's asking if we can explain fully what a future contract is.
Okay, of course. Alita 15. Future contract is a win-lose contract where there is an agreement to buy or sell a specified quantity and quality of a commodity for a certain price at a designated time in the future. So we should think carefully when predict the trend of the price in the futures or having other strategies that can help the company to hedge risks.
Remember, 100% hedge of heating oil futures options have the minimum fuel cost than do nothing or unhedged. It is very important to note that when no hedging takes place, there is no offset of risk or protection against fuel rise.
After all the analysis above, we see how futures and forward markets in the fuel industry function. And also we see that the cost in minimized by using derivative tools to hedging risks of rising fuel costs rather than doing nothing or unhedged.
Well, I think it is now time to say goodbye. We hope you had a nice time talking and learning more about derivatives and hedging risks. Stay tuned for more episodes of Keeping Up with Financial News, and we hope to see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.